Hello and welcome to G's World. Today we're going to look back in the year 2019. This year, more than any other year, we've seen Pakistan interfere in India and Indian affairs. It started off with the Pulwama attack, after which India did BALOCHS. Then there was the Indian general elections, followed by revocation of Article 370, the Ayodhya verdict, and now the Citizen Amendment Bill. To review this year with me, I have Mr. Tarek Fatah, who is a political commentator, a journalist and an author. He is also a Pakistani in exile who now lives in Canada. Thank you so much, Mr. Fatah, for joining us. We start off with the first major one, which was the Pulwama attack, terrorist attack, and of course the Balakot strike. What is your, first of all, take and the fact that, terrorism and Pakistan has been going on? You think there's been any different in this one? Did it change anything?
What has changed is that गुजरात रेजिमेंट के बजाय गुजरात प्राइम मिनिस्टर आ गया तो अब मजाक लोग उड़ाते थे कि everyone has a regiment but Gujarat has never so our prime minister showed what a Gujarati can do. It's the first time that India reacted. It showed some self-respect. वरना आपके तो बॉम्बे पे अटैक करके पाकिस्तानी घर चले गए एक बच गया वो मर गए किश्ती वाले तो गए ना वापस And India couldn't do anything. Yesterday was the anniversary of the attack on Lok Sabha. What did Indians do? देखिए, entire Indian psyche and society, from my perspective, has become a trading group of people who look after the bottom line, the profits, and just shrug off, okay, let's not disturb the waters. जो गरीब है वो तो गरीब रहेगा हम तो पैदा हुए पैसे के लिए तो हम पैसे so not realizing that the other side, the enemy, wants to die simply to live. मुसलमान की I'm talking as a Muslim, our life begins after we die. It's not a joke, that's a belief. आपकी रिटर्न टिकट भी आती है आप अगर हिंदू हैं तो आप जाते हैं फिर आते जाते हैं आपको इतनी लाइफ की मुझे लगता वैल्यू नहीं है वो कहते हैं जितनी जल्दी मैं मरूं उतना अच्छा है एंड द डेस्टिनी इज ग़ज़वा हिंद व्हिच मीन्स दैट God has promised us that he will not end this world for permanent life until a group of Muslims invades India, destroys all temples, finishes off Hindus, and then the world will come to an end and we will all live happily ever after. So you're dealing with a total different frame of mind. एक जो पूरा वैदिक आपका मोहनजोदारो या इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन से 5000 साल से एक सोच निकली है compared to something else which relates itself to those who plundered India. तो I still can't understand कि इस शहर में लोधी गार्डन्स का क्या ताल्लुक है जिस शख्स ने आके काशी टेम्पल उड़ा दिया आपने कहा चलो भाई इसके नाम पे सड़क भी गार्डन भी nowhere else would this happen in the world. But so it shows that 700 years of slavery or Muslim minority rule over India has sunk into the genetic frame of mind of Indians कि वो दुश्मन को भी कहते हैं accept कर लो as those बस life disturbed now.
But when you talk about 700 years of Muslim rule, we've had kings who were benevolent.
I don't want kings who are benevolent.
No, I mean they came in, and of course I get your point. But they were also like Akbar was
Akbar
there.
was an Indian, he was not.
So you have people have had. So I mean
they had Hindu mothers.
Yes.
So they were sensible.
Right.
Huh? Those born out of 200 wives, like Nawab Wajahat Ali Khan, who populated the entire Calcutta region after being thrown out of Awadh. It's simple cheese hai. Nobody is responsible for their ancestors' acts, except when you take pride in them. So वो लोग जो कह रहे हैं कि हम बेटे का नाम औरंगजेब रखेंगे या वो लोग जो कह रहे हैं कि साहब ताजमहल जो है वो मुमताज़ में क्या साहब इश्क था अरे she was a child bride 13th. So we need to understand that the enslavement of Indians by Mongols and Turkic barbarians should never be celebrated.
Correct.
But Indians do. And instead of pointing at the marvels of architecture in the south, we've put it on pedestal कि साहब चोर घर में तो आया था और लूट के ले गया, लेकिन साहब फर्नीचर ऐसा उसने सेट किया, मज़ा आ गया. It's absurd. I, as someone who considers himself an Indian who is converted to Islam, I should be offended by anyone attacking my country.
I get that, Mr. Fatah, but I just...
And so here's my point. I think Narendra Modi is the first Prime Minister who has a sense of self-respect. So when Pulwama happened, he did not hesitate. I'll tell you something from history. You might not have been born then, but in the 65 war, when Mr. Shastri, Prime Minister Shastri, finally got fed up and attacked Lahore, the Indian naval chief said, "Apni fleet ko sambhal ke rakho andar." The Indian Navy did not get out कि ये तो 15 दिन में war खत्म हो जाएगी, जहाज हमारा खराब हो जाएगा, इस पे कहीं गोला वोला लग गया तो क्या होगा. So you can imagine कि the fiefdoms that have evolved in India. Did you know that in 65 when the Pakistan Navy attacked Dwarka, the commander was picked to be Commander Ghaznavi? They called for the commander whose name was Ghaznavi to reenact Mahmud Ghaznavi's 17 times attack on Somnath. The people who went to where's Krishna's birthplace?
Somnath, Dwarka?
Dwarka,
Mathura, Vrindavan.
Mathura. अब बताइए, उधर पहुंच के लूट मार करके आगे लोगों ने कहा मिट्टी पाओ, आगे जाओ. So this मिट्टी पाओ movement, के forget about it. Your enemy is not willing to let you go.
Exactly. So my point is that's exactly what you're saying, that we shouldn't forget our history, क्योंकि अभी हमारे को पाकिस्तान जो हैं, जो आजकल हमारे को
It's your territory.
जी नहीं, not only that, वो भी हमें भूलने नहीं दे रहे. अगर आप जैसे
example, they will not. The British created Pakistan to be a buffer zone between the Soviet Union and India, and they knew Zahir Shah was very much very close to the Russian. The Red Army was close to 10 million strong. In the Indian National Congress, even the Muslims that I know of West Pakistan, they were part of the Communist Party. My grandfather was in the Congress. Bacha Khan was running NWFP. Allah Baksh Sumro was Chief Minister of Sindh. The Indians do not know this, mind you. If you ask some Indian, where is Sindh, he will say, Bombay ke andar kahin mahalla hai koi. They don't even know कि सिंध की alphabet क्या थी. Has been a rape of our indigenous scripts, our language, our music, our everything. Unfortunately, in partition, it has come by a language brought over from UP and made the Sindhis and illiterate in their own language and was almost forced on to Bengal till they revolted. So whatever is happening this year is a direct result of an unfinished business from partition. If Lahore and Kasur are cities named after Ram's twin sons, and there is no Hindu living over there, that should at least be a pointer to some academic. यहाँ तो आपके इंडिया में किसी रेबल राउजर को तो छोड़ दीजिए, किसी फिलोसफर ने भी नहीं कहा कि how did this happen? Can you imagine a Mecca without Muslims? Now how can you imagine Lahore without Hindus? और केश कसूर right on the border, उन्होंने कहा खेमकरन के पास है, उन्होंने कहा अच्छा जी मुसलमानों को दे दो. अरे वो शहर ही हिंदुओं का है. तो सिंध को आप देखिए. I don't say you invade somewhere, take a place, but you need to say, invoke your claim कि बिना सिंध हिंद नहीं होगा, Balochistan आज़ाद होगा, it was an independent country. This should be the moral principles of any Indian government, Congress की हो या BJP की. I don't.
But that was, आपका जो इस दफ़ा बालाकोट का अटैक हुआ है, and all of us as Indians felt really good about it. पहले
some didn't know. You have enough Pakistanis living in India to say कि proof बताओ, photo दिखाओ.
तो मैं वो उसी चीज़ पे आ रही थी कि एक तो जब भी चाहे वो सैटेलाइट इमेजेस हों वगैरह वगैरह, वो उसमें प्रूफ का एक एज जर्नलिस्ट अगर आप पूछते हैं तो we didn't get anything. Secondly, पाकिस्तान ने बिल्कुल विपरीत उसके, जब भी किसी ने चाहा वहाँ पे लेके जाना, वहाँ पे लेके नहीं गए। फिर उन्होंने एक फोटोज रिलीज की कि देखो पेड़ गिरा हुआ है। सो देयर वाज वन द एक्चुअल थिंग कि वहाँ पे हुआ कि नहीं। बट एक दूसरा फॉल आउट वो भी होता है कि साइकोलॉजिकली इंडियन प्लेन्स फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम क्रॉस द बॉर्डर एंड दे डिड स्ट्राइक। चाहे अगर पेड़ भी गिरा हो, दे साइकोलॉजिकल। फिर पाकिस्तान के जो रिएक्शन था, उन्होंने जो किया, they were just pulled up again कि how did you use our F-16?
Yes, yes.
So उसको this whole impact इस साल का, how much, what has it impacted on Pakistan's psyche and the army, because army is basically running the country?
Look, Pakistan's psyche is very simple: the destruction of India. Pakistan was created in the psychology of the Muslims of UP, Bihar, Bombay. यहीं के लोगों elect होके 80 to 90% of the Muslim seats in UP, Bihar, Bombay, Madras, these were the regions, were won by Jinnah's Muslim League.
Yes.
Even though what he was not elected from any place that is Pakistan. He was a member of parliament from Bombay. And yet he betrayed his own constituents. Liaquat Ali Khan was from Haryana. These people had nothing to do with Pakistan. And they became the rulers of Pakistan. The people of Pakistan suddenly found a different language. पंजाबी मुस्लिम inferiority complex का तो ये हाल है कि they themselves put a ban on teaching Punjabi in Punjab. There have been instances where a Punjabi member of Punjab Assembly has spoken in Punjabi and the speaker has said, ये ना मुहज़्ज़ब ज़बान के अंदर आप बात ना करें, मैं आपको निकाल देता हूँ यहाँ से. The guy knows only Punjabi, so he couldn't address the house. He had to speak in a silly type of Urdu accent, which you can often see Pakistanis on television speak. It's not their language. It's not my language. My mother tongue is Punjabi. I was born in Sindh. I should know Sindhi. Why would you expect Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in Dhaka to be talking in Urdu? What? Urdu is a Turkish language. From the streets of Delhi, when the Turkish armies were roaming around without women to marry, and they raped a lot of Indian women to produce a whole lot of people. It was born, Urdu is the word that is the root word to the word hordes, Hordes. It's a Turkish word, mean lashkar. यहाँ तो आप celebrate कर रहे हैं शेर शायरी, but in effect it has become a language most easily you can lie in, because as soon as you come to a dead end, आप शेर कह देते हैं. जहाँ फंसे उन्होंने कहा उसने ये कहा, उसने वो कहा, गालिब ने ये कहा. Can you imagine a Chinese talking that way? Sun Yat-sen said this. We become prisoners of our own captivity. कोई भी उर्दू दिल्ली में बोल दे, 5 लोग खड़े हो जाते सुनने के लिए कि बहुत पढ़ा लिखा आदमी है तो उर्दू में बात कर रहा. This has been left behind to damage the Indian psyche while facing a ferocious enemy that seeks death. And you are being beaten in the international field. Neither the NRI wants to stand up, nor he's trained to become a pappu when he grows up. Then his mother gets him married to some fair-skinned girl picked up from a Times of India matrimonial ad. So dysfunctional people, when you do not have pride in your identity. There's one Pakistani in New York, 50 Indians run away. I've seen that. One guy wants to create a storm, the other wants to do his MBA.
No, but then again, coming back to this year in review and coming back to this, we've talked about terrorism. We've talked about how Pakistan has very consistently, Imran Khan tweeting and going to the world stage. You've had the Kartarpur corridor. उसको भी उन्होंने बहुत एक master stroke बोला. उनके minister ने admit किया है कि हमने तो ये एक नासूर बोला.
It is, and Indians made the mistake and followed through. What sort of people make decisions in India? I can't understand. You should have swapped territory. आप कहते हैं ये करतारपुर है कैसे पाकिस्तान में?
But अभी we can't change the territory.
Yes,
so
you can, or you do not, or you sacrifice. ननकाना जब आप से चला गया तो बाकी क्या रहा? अब मतलब ननकाना साहब is in Pakistan? How? Why is Lahore in Pakistan? Why is Sindh in Pakistan? Sindh is the root of Hind.
जी.
सिंधु आपकी जो वो टेबल टेनिस या चैंपियन भी है, ये सारे नाम हमारे सिंधु से आए हैं. हिंदू है, हिंदुस्तान है, सिंधी है, इंडिया है, इंडिया इंडस से आया है. वो सब छोड़ के आपको किसी ने बेवकूफ़ बना दिया कि ये एक्चुअली गंगा जमुना सिविलाइजेशन है.
No, but Tarek sir, again coming back.
I'm sorry, I'm digressing.
No, which is why I'm coming back to it. Kartarpur corridor is technically now under Pakistan. अगर वो उन्होंने कहा है कि हमारे जो सिख भाई हैं उनके लिए हम आने के लिए खोल रहे हैं, but that is also part of their grand plan of being a terrorism.
No, not necessarily terrorism. They are overpowering you by their international propaganda machine. You have हर 3 दिन बाद US कांग्रेस की एक ग्रुपिंग बैठती है और इंडिया को कर देती है. आप यहाँ जर्नलिस्ट आया न्यूयॉर्कर का, उसको आप एक इंडियन जर्नलिस्ट ले गई टू राइट एन आर्टिकल अगेंस्ट इंडिया. You have friends inside, you have more, I say that with tongue in cheek, there are more Pakistanis in India than there are in Pakistan. So if you are working with a New Yorker magazine, Dexter naam hai, pata nahi kya hai
John
uska?
Dexter.
He's going there, you are assisting him to break Indian law. He gets there, he admits he got in there, got out without restriction, yet he writes an article saying Muslims are doomed in India. Except that one journalist who took him there. So there is nothing. I'm speaking as a Canadian who lives there, and I'll tell you, I fight a lonely fight. I'll give you one example. There were 100,000 Indo-Canadian, Indian Americans willing to cheer the Prime Minister Modi.
Ji. Howdy Modi.
Huh? Not 10. Not even 10 were willing to stand out to protest against Pakistan. Those 10 were Pakistani overseas who were there. No Indian thought that it was respectable to protest for their own country. They all wanted to be in the VIP seats. All your politicians in India, they changed their names. And somebody is Nimitra Randhawa, and she becomes, what's her name? Something else. Then that governor of Louisiana, he changed twice.
Yes.
एक अच्छा खासा पंजाबी आदमी वो he becomes an evangelical. Then they say, oh भाई इधर evangelical नहीं चलते, यहाँ कैथोलिक है. उन्हें को कोई गाल नहीं, मैं कैथोलिक हो जाना. So if रो खन्ना, why is he row? What, he's rowing a boat or what? And then he joins the Pakistan caucus.
Yes.
So that means the Republic of India does not have a machinery to portray the truth, even when it is the absolute truth. We are the largest democracy in the world. We don't need lecture from Gambia and Pakistan. The UN Human Rights Council jo hai, it is run by the Organization of Islamic States.
Ji.
And all the dictators, today they've lectured India. बताइए यार, उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे ये. And we do not have anyone, no academic, no professor, no researcher, no agitator, no communist, no Hindutva loving guy. You take the whole lot and you can't find 10 people.
So how do you look at what happened post revocation of Article 370 when Pakistan went to, all over the world, they went to UN? How do you see the whole thing there?
It was Pakistan's diplomatic victory, India's moral victory. To a certain extent, India is dealing with itself. It was a temporary thing. Anybody who's run, the Kashmir dispute came up because Pakistan invaded the state of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the starting point. It is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, right? China occupies part of it, thanks to 1964 gift by Pakistan of Kashmiri territory to India. At that time, Ayub Khan was there. So, Indians for the last 5,000 years have been inward looking. Pakistani type Islamic State people have been for the last 1,000 years outwardly looking. You can imagine that no caliphate was ever stationed in Makkah or Medina. It's सोचने की बात है ना, Damascus was from the Orthodox, Baghdad was built, and once the Abbasides were thrown out, where did they go? They went to Bahawalpur state, which is now in Pakistan. The Abbasides. So India has opened its arm to the victims of जिसे हम इस्लामिक तशद्दुद कहते हैं कि इमाम हुसैन का गला काट दिया. Muslims can do anything. The day Prophet Muhammad died, the fighting started.
Yes.
within 18 hours, they were at each other's throats. Why? The religion died, and the politics to use that religion to conquer the world opened. So India is the only place that they conquered, and after 700 years could not wipe out the Hindu nature of this country. In Iran, in 25 years, Zoroastrianism, Egypt, nothing remains of Egypt's language, its script, or anything. Copts बचे दो चार इधर उपिटते रहते हैं. So unless Indians take a world view of what's happening. Yesterday I was on a panel discussing the British election. I was astonished that Indians, how little they know. They thought that this was a nationalist victory this was a defeat of Brexit. Yes. It was a question of sovereignty, not nationalism. Nationalism अगर हो गया तो Jaguar के जो owners हैं उनको वो कहेंगे निकल जाओ यहाँ से. How can you be celebrating nationalism in India? Because it will hurt India. You need to celebrate sovereignty.
Yes.
We are Indians. This is ours, and in future we will be liberating Balochistan. Sindh will join as an independent country. Punjab will be united.
But how will all that happen?
It will happen, inshallah.
No, but how?
How?
I mean, as a common Indian, what do you expect from India?
Okay. The world's borders have never been static for more than 50 years. This is a fundamental principle. India का भी 70 साल में गोवा आया है, बांग्लादेश बना है, दीव दमन चला गया. We know छोटे मोटे इधर borders change हुए. किस दुनिया के मुल्क का बॉर्डर नहीं बदला पिछले साल में? इंडोनेशिया का, ईस्ट तिमोर निकल गया है, युगोस्लाविया ख़त्म ही हो गया, यूएसएसआर 20 मुल्क बन गए, ग्रेट ब्रिटेन सुकड़ के इतना सा मुन्ना सा पप्पू बच्चा रखा, उसमें भी स्कॉटलैंड निकल जाएगा. 56 में से 55 सीटें जीते हैं स्कॉटिश. कौन सा मुल्क है जो बॉर्डर इसका यूरोप का एक रहा है? नहीं. तो बॉर्डर्स are a shifting reality. They're not like rivers कि 5000 साल में जरा सा मुड़ गए. जब ये थ्योरी आप एक्सेप्ट करेंगे तो you then have to look forward कि अब क्या होगा. जब आपने 1948 में एक आज़ाद मुल्क बलूचिस्तान इंडिया ने अलाउ किया पाकिस्तान के चलो कब्जा कर लो. When the Baloch went to Delhi to meet with Maulana Azad and Jawaharlal Nehru, Abdus Samad Achakzai was a Congress member of Parliament from Quetta. Mir Ghausbaksh Bizinjo was a member of the Communist Party of India Central Committee, and I've heard it from his mouth. They went and Maulana Azad ne kaha, ye wo itna dur hai wo Balochistan, you know how. And Abdus Samad Achakzai said, Karachi se Dhaka 1200 मील दूर है और राजस्थान से बलूचिस्तान है 200 मील. You look at Pakistanis didn't think 1200 miles.
True.
Indian Muslim is saying कि वहाँ तो कोई उर्दू भी नहीं बोलता. Then they betrayed the Baloch, the Indian government of the Congress and Maulana Azad. They leaked out a story saying Indian leaders have not met the Khan of Kalat and his representatives when nobody had accused them. PTI का denial आया, the next day Pakistan army invaded and captured Kalat. अभी इंडिया ने उधार देना है बलूचिस्तान को वापस. Just because
फिर कैसे होगा? कैसे उधार उधार?
देखें अब टूट तो रहा है ना. तो ये जो crumbling of the state है, पाकिस्तान देखें एक चीज़, it never was a country, right? It never will be because it's not a country, it's an acronym. दुनिया में कोई एक्रोनिम आपको पता है? तारीख में मैं कह रहा हूँ पिछले 500 साल में बताइए कि किसी मुल्क का एक्रोनिम हो. और कई लोग तो उसको प्रोनाउंस ही नहीं कर सकते. अरब तो पाकिस्तान कहते हैं, पंजाबी कहते हैं पाकिस्तान, उनको अपने मुल्क का नाम नहीं पता. तो पंजाब जिसकी ज़बान पंजाबी है उसको कब तक आप उर्दू में वाह वाह आधा वर्ज कब तक कराएंगे आप? Someday his nature will say, why am I being trained? I'm a spaniel. Why are you treating me like an Alsatian?
Right.
ये तो करें ना. Pashtuns have nothing to do with Punjabis.
Right.
Okay? So मैं तो एक छोटी बात करता हूँ. अटक से कटक तक है हिंदुस्तान. उस पार उसके है अफगानिस्तान. और नीचे उसके बलूचिस्तान. बाकी खैर मनाए. This is what the future map of India will look like.
So are you saying that India should now annex them?
India should annex them. India should mind its business and be ready on the international scene to at least utter the word that we support the people who apply for asylum. I'll give you an example. Brahmdag Bukti applied for asylum in India. They didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
मैंने ऐसी जिक्र भी किया था. खैर, I don't need it, but I was joking. I said, I wouldn't mind. I can sing better than that singer who became it. But nobody reacts. Your bureaucracy is like in a refrigerator. They're like butter that has to be sawed off to be spread. कोई action नहीं है. You've got 100,000 babus sitting there holding that they will not let anyone do anything because उनकी जो बेगमात हैं, ये जो husband हैं, उनको flat अच्छा चाहिए, वो कह रहे यहाँ move करना. The whole notion of Indian upper middle class is how do we retire? How can we make more money for ourselves? जान देने के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं है. Not a single member of the Indian middle class has a son as a Lance Naik or a Jawan. Compare that to Israel, where every president has started as a soldier.
Right.
Or America, Kennedys को देख लीजिए, बुश सीनियर को देख लीजिए. ये वही है मरूटी के अंदर ड्राइवर आगे बैठता है, छोटा सा सेट पीछे बैठता, कभी साथ नहीं बैठता. इंडियन खुद इंडियन की रिस्पेक्ट नहीं कर रहा, तो बाकी कौन करेगा?
वापस अगर हम आते हैं तो उसके हिसाब से आपका सिटीजन अमेंडमेंट बिल जो है उसको फिर आप कैसे देखते हैं?
एब्सोल्युटली. एक तो बेचारों को मार रहे हो और फिर वो इंडिया आना चाहते तो कहते क्यों?
But it's not about just minorities. It's also about excluding Muslims who are being.
Who? I'm the quintessential Muslim who cannot live in Pakistan.
Right. Yes, you are.
Huh? So if I'm excluded, I'm okay with it. Taslima has Swedish nationality. We shouldn't be complaining. We are the last who should be complaining. Complain उनको थे कि 5,000 से मैंने सुना 10,000 तक पाकिस्तानी Christians are stuck in ghettos in Bangkok with Pakistani ISI gundas going there जिन पे blasphemy के charges and shooting them dead. The penetration of the Pakistan ISI is everywhere. Everywhere, from the parliaments of Canada and Great Britain to the congressional offices. 400, I'm told, people work on the house. And they will take no salary yet work for it. Takbir, Allahu Akbar. They are giving their lives for it. You're looking for MBAs. Oh, hamara Google ka CEO hamara.
But you know, you can't fault somebody who wants to do it in the correct way or the civilized way, but you have an enemy who's not going to play by the rules anyways.
So die. एक दफ़ा आए थे, 700 साल बैठे, फिर आ जाएंगे, फिर साथ. अब की बार आप नहीं बचेंगे. अब की बार तैमूर आया, बाबर आया, खिलजी आया. आपके पास टाइम नहीं बचेगा कि रेलवे स्टेशनों के नाम रखें आप खिलजी पे, या लोधी. बोले साहब लोधी का बेटा आया, हमने तो तुम्हारे लिए गार्डन बना के रखा हुआ. Are you kidding me? The guy who destroyed the Kashi temple in Banaras has been honored with a Lodhi gardens in Delhi. राजा दाहिर गार्डन्स कर देना उसे. किसी को नहीं पता इस पूरे इंडिया में राजा दाहिर कौन था. I can bet you he's the first man who fought against the invasion of India, and he gave asylum and saved the lives of the Prophet of Islam's great grandchildren in Sindh. ये सब वहाँ पनाह जिनको मिली उनको लूटने ये उमय्यद कैलिफेट आई कि कहाँ से इनको पनाह दिए.
तो अब एक चीज़ मुझे बताइए, हम लोग के पास आप राइटली आपने पॉइंट आउट किया, देयर वाज कुछ सेगमेंट्स हैं जिनकी आवाज़ें काफ़ी बुलंद हैं, पर वो इसलिए वो आपके मीडिया में छाए रहते हैं, वो उनके पास इनरोड्स हैं वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में भी. बट एंड दैट्स अ वॉइस दैट वी ऑल्सो इन सम सेंस एक्सेप्ट एंड ऑनर बिकॉज वी हैव अ ट्रेडिशन ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी एंड divergent voices.
Absolutely.
So in that sense, if they are talking against, say, maybe a Balakot, or they're questioning Balakot, or they're questioning the revocation of the article, or they're questioning the CAB, but that is also being used by the enemy.
Yes.
How and where does India delicately allow the dissent in the country, at the same time handle the enemy?
There is Arti Tikku Singh. He's the first Indian journalist who went to the Congress. to take up India's case on her own. And guess what happened? She was attacked on both sides by Indians who echo the Pakistan line, who are so-called liberals or leftists or secularists, as if she is not.
So you're saying they shouldn't have a voice?
They should have a voice, but the government of India has a responsibility to not send people outside who haven't got a clue, who really want to get back home to buy a good apartment over here, who are ready to dedicate themselves like your enemy, to say, how did it happen that the US Congress 3 or 4 times is attacking the largest democracy in the world as if it was Gambia? एक दुनिया में थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्री जहाँ इलेक्शन होते हैं उनके अगेंस्ट कौन बोल रहा है? पाकिस्तान, जहाँ 1970 के अलावा कभी इलेक्शन ठीक हुआ ही नहीं है. One general after the other, one crooked guy using Islam to demolish sanity, and they have access to the US Congress, and we Indians don't. That means a certain function within the Indian institutions, a ministry of information within external affairs, or ministry of, to project India across the world, or something like that, has to be institutionalized. Uska kaam ho to counter this, not look for career building.
Right.
Enough of promotions and fighting and posting kara do, yes.
Okay, so now if you look at 2020,
yes,
we have, of
it
course,
is our century, India's century.
Right.
Yes, इसमें India, whether India wants it or not, truth will rise. सच को आप दबा ही नहीं सकते.
What do you see? How do you see? What is the fate of Imran Khan?
It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. देखिए, पंजाबी Muslim runs Islam. Rizvi है, फलाना है, Dhamaका. Sindh, Balochistan and the frontier, the Pashtun areas are its colonies. At some stage there will be critical mass when one day Nawaz Sharif's daughter will speak to 1 million people in Punjabi. That's the day it will all boom, explode. Because आप सोचिए 70 साल से you're not allowed to speak your mother tongue. You can speak it, but
Punjabi in Pakistan,
yes,
they were the ruling elite. They were.
Yeah, but they have an inferiority complex. कि वो लखनऊ से जो अंकल आए थे ना, उनकी उर्दू इतनी अच्छी थी. My grandfather used to boast to his neighbors, मेरा नवासा देखो कितनी अच्छी उर्दू बोलता. I'm 4 years old. Just because I am from Karachi, I speak Urdu, people will be sitting there. Oh, कितना पढ़ा लिखा. So the state run by people who came to Pakistan from India, from UP, Bihar and Hyderabad, Bhopal, they imposed Urdu on Pakistan. They delegitimized Sindhi, they attacked Bengali, they made Pashto a language of fools, and Balochistan they simply rolled over. ये कभी तो revert होगा ना, law of nature भी तो होता है ना कुछ. So what is going to happen, the Balochistan independence movement is going on its own. You cannot pick up women and rape them and throw them, or look at the Pashtun MPs, arrested because they visited Punjab University. The military was so scared that if these two groups agree, it's over. And the entire military establishment is not to fight a war. It is to bleed India, extract the resources of Pakistan, to feed them and the begums and the children, who then settle down in the United States. I'll give you a tiny example of how deep the mess is. The United States, the Pentagon, has a department that does research only how to reduce casualties in war. They figured out that the IEDs, the landmines being made at home, had a nitrate strand that was coming from a fertilizer factory that was owned by a Pakistani general. So they started searching for this person to figure out what were overt or covert actions that had to be taken, till they discovered he was an American. Pakistani general American होके पाकिस्तान में फैक्ट्री लगा के American soldiers को मार रहा था. ये deviousness, this crookedness, this serpent-like, snake-like behavior, it's beyond your imagination. If my name is Tarek Fatah, and I'm say a colonel, I go to the office, I become Badruddin Hussain. I get a metric certificate by that name, I get mark sheets, I get a BA degree, MA degree, all because I am who I am. I print degrees. Now I'm Badruddin Hussain who buys property. I'm no longer a colonel. So I can live in Canada as a civil engineer Badruddin Hussain. शैतानों से डील कर रहे हैं और आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं फरिश्तों का काम.
So coming back to 2020, Pakistan is going to face the financial task force भी है. अभी जो stabbing attack हुआ था Britain में.
The guy was born in Britain.
Yes.
He had nothing to do other than plan and raise a jihadi army from his Pakistan-occupied Kashmir area. By the way, not a single person in Pakistan speaks Kashmiri. ये जो Pakistan-occupied Kashmir में जो है, nobody. The language has been wiped out. Zero is the amount. Cultural imperialism इसको कहते हैं. अच्छा, तो उसकी बॉडी अपनी मर्जी से लेके गए कि वहाँ अब उसका वो होगा, एक मज़ार बनेगा, फिर लोग आएंगे, दुआएं करेंगे, then you know it will develop on its own. Too many people have died.
So then how does India, what do you feel, 1, 2, 3 things that India needs to do to change?
Number one, India should set up or assist in the formation of a government in exile for the Republic of Balochistan. We have done it with Tibet. We have allowed the Dalai Lama to sit here. We have stopped that tradition. We are scared, I don't know of whom. Okay? Set up that. Every Sindhi, Muslim or Hindu, not an Urdu speaking person, the moment the guy says his mother tongue is Urdu, he is hostile to India. Ye aap samajh le, blanket. If there are Sindhi nationalists who wish, I know friends who have gone mad in this city. They are poisoned in Kathmandu. India allowed them for treatment. The man, an intellectual, has lost his mind. He walks the streets talking to himself. ये किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? आपको UN Security Council का member बनना है, you'll have to fulfill these commitments in the neighborhood. You form the government of exile. Number two, once you recognize them, then you have your own concern over there. Number two, you have to make sure that Gilgit-Baltistan, being Indian territory, is retaken.
But that's been annexed by Pakistan. They've changed the thing last year.
हाँ, उसको जाने दें. If somebody comes and kidnaps my daughters and takes them away, will I say, but that's settled. He's taken them. I can't do anything. No. If your land is taken up by another country and you have retired, वो तो अब हो गया ना, let bygones be bygones. यही सुनता मैं आता हूँ. आपके तमाम intellectual यही कहते हैं. Let bygones be bygones. No. That is Indian sovereign territory which has a 150-mile border, shared border with Afghanistan, जिससे हमारे हजारों साल के ताल्लुकात हैं. And Afghanistan was a Buddhist country. कंदहार गंदहार से है. कोई Persian word नहीं है. We have to accommodate all of these. Whether we physically take people or we recognize them, there are better minds than mine who can do this. I can only say what I desire. I'm not a public policy person. Lekin these are the easy steps.
And third, you said there were 3.
Third, you will not allow hatred against Hindus to be propagated within Hindustan. Okay, and I'll leave it at that.
And that note, we will end 2019. We will get back to him in 2020 to see how much of this has been fulfilled. Till then, keep watching NewsX. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.